said, I thank y'all for doing this. Y'all don't have to do it. I was shot 18 times. He said, I was left for dead in a homeless camp. He said, but I'm here looking at y'all and seeing y'all serve in something that I want to do. So at that moment, just him sharing his testimony, I got a bus full of grown men crying. And then they was like, oh, Shelle, like, we never do. This is what you really do. And like I tell people all the time, until y'all get out here with me, y'all don't know what boots on the ground really looks like. Let me give y'all the Kansas City story. That's my favorite story. So just being here as a kid, born in the 80s. Of course, what they say, born in the 80s, crack baby. I came from a mother who was in the streets. I was predominantly raised by my older brother, who is 10 years older than me. So he had to grow up fairly fast. Raising me at 10, it's just me and him. Mama in and out of the streets, in and out of treatment, trying to figure it out. Never fully grasped it, that I have kids, I have little people I have to live for. So she left us. Most people don't get that side of the story from me, but we were left with my great grandmother and my grandmother. So outside of them being our elders and parents at the time, my brother had to raise me. Mm-hmm. So, of course, he's still a kid himself. He didn't know nothing about what he's supposed to do with me. Like I say, I don't know what to feed it. So he was kind of stuck in that realm of a 10-year-old. And he had to experience the more traumatic side of mama just being absent. So coming from a single parent home and mama is who knows where, all we know is grandma and this is where we're supposed to be, that's what we were kind of forced with. But I was too young to remember those days, so I know the stories. And of course, when you get older, you want to know the transparency of what happened. Yeah. What's the who, what, when, where, why, and how. So that's where it all stemmed from.
Yeah. So I can relate to you as far as growing up in the house with grandmothers. And so it was my grandmother, my great-grandmother, and my great-great-grandmother. So I would imagine you probably had to do stuff you didn't really want to do as far as a kid, like white booties and chain. I don't know how your elderly moved around, but two of ours was on walkers and stuff, and they had to, poop in the potties and stuff, and we had to change all that. Massage, feed, all that stuff, walk on backs and all that. How was that for you?
So I didn't experience that part until my later teens. So at 18, I ended up being my great grandmother's caregiver. Mm-hmm. So for me as a teenager, life progressed a little faster. I couldn't take a job because of the brokenness. So I seen that she needed. I seen that I don't like nursing homes, and I'm not going to visit you for somebody else to take care of you. Can't nobody take care of our people like us. So for that, I was grateful for it because she took me in as a kid. So as she got older, and as they call it, reflecting back to your baby stages when you get older, I didn't have a problem with being there 24/7. From 18 to 21, did I completely give my life away to my grandmother? Yes, because she did it for me. Yeah. So at 21, I went out with my family and all my friends. You 21, friends is club owners, friends is bartenders, XYZ. So I was in the club probably 15 minutes on my 21st birthday. So, all right, y'all, I got to go back home. So everybody was like, well, why? I have to be with my grandmother. Yeah. She started losing her vision, so therefore she depended on me. So that's that.
I want to get back to that, but I want to go back to your brother, though. What did that transparency look like with him when you were finally able to try to understand the position y'all was in, or mainly the position he was put in too?
So 3 years after me, my sister was born. So there became a third child. Like they say, third time is a charm. So at that point, my sister was born full-blown crack baby. Should not have never even came home with my mom. But it took for her to be born for my mom to get it together. So at that point, let me rewind it just a little bit. Me and my mom, I was the treatment center baby. So I stayed in treatment centers with my mom. My brother was taken care of by my grandmother. I was the treatment center baby. Then when my sister was born, she got it together. So it took for my sister having just basically been in state custody that she was like, okay, I really got to get it together. So it took for that third time to be the charm for her to let us go get herself together, come back and take care of us. So
You, what are the like? What's the word? I can't even think of the word right now. The effects of being like a crack baby.
I don't know. I think I'm perfect.
Right. Cause I remember who was you talking to? Chef Roy. Chef Roy, like he's all over the place. Like he like whatever, like his thoughts are like scattered. And cause I asked him that, and he said he think that comes from that. Like
See, I don't know. I don't have no triggers. Like I'm a
you
calm
do seem
person.
like you.
Like I ain't got it together, but I can keep it together and I'm calm and I just have learned to adapt to what comes through life. Even still at 35, I asked my mama what's the stories. Right now, like we're moving my grandmother. My brother just so happened to be in town. A letter was found because grandmothers hold on to everything. My mom wrote a letter to me and my brother. And just for us to be able to see this letter many years later, she said, hey, we're in treatment. We're getting it together. But it was really a letter to my grandmother that my mom had wrote, but it had inserts in it for me and my brother. And she just said, we're getting it together. Mama, I thank you. I know I have to do this. Thank you for not giving up on me. And I think that's the biggest thing that keeps our family together is nobody ever gave up on each other. And my grandmother never gave up on my mama. She said, well, you're going to keep going back till you get it together.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. She had to keep repeating that cycle until she got it together.
So having to be your brother having to be like the caretaker at 10 years old, did that push him into some things out in the streets to where he had to do what he had to do to take care of the house?
Nope. My brother has been in church, is an elder in the church, and
Fire.
he kept his faith. I don't know how he did it, but he did it. My brother has never been in trouble for drugs. My brother has never even been invited to the street life.
That's cold. So where did it lead you though?
Everywhere.
How do y'all take different paths like that? You get what I'm saying?
See, and I'm the middle child, so we the worst one. So I'm the one that was in and out of jail fighting. I'm the one that the great grandma had to write a check to go get out of jail while you're back in jail. I'm the one with the speeding tickets. Yeah. And my brother, maybe 2 speeding tickets out of 45 years of living.
Wow. Wow.
Now me, I was the Dora the Explorer. I was the adventurous one.
So have you ever sat and thought like what made you that way? And have you figured it out?
No, I still ain't figured it out.
Yeah. You don't think it was trying to figure out why your mother wasn't there at the time?
For a long period of time, I didn't care because that's the past. Going forward, I've learned to break generational curses. I don't want to be a part of what was or what happened. Mm-hmm. I do care to listen to your story, but also in your story, would you ever go back? Would you ever do it again? Are you going to stay consistent in the changes you made? She's been clean and sober for 30 years now, 32 years. Mm-hmm. So, it's just things that I ask. And of course, I'm the family member that asks the uncomfortable questions. Yeah. Because we all have been through something, I can't say that, okay, you may have did drugs, but I don't have to deal with the stories of, oh, my mama was a prostitute. Oh, my mama did this. She turned tricks for dollars. And I don't have to deal with that. I'd rather know that you are able to be here with us. Okay. Yeah. Crack is crack. That was in the 80s. That was that era. But I wasn't there to tell you, don't take the drugs. Don't do the drugs. Whatever environment you was in, you did that and that's what happened. But to this day, would you do it again? Yeah. Would you rehash that life again?
You got like super witty responses that we were talking about before. And you sound like a person of wisdom though, too. But you real snappy. And I just met you like a second ago, like 1 second ago.
I was so nice.
What? No, I didn't. See, you. One thing you don't understand about me is I rock with Snappy, but to a, you know what I mean. You know,
I'm
got to
right
be
here.
respect. But yeah, I'm wondering like how was high school for you and maneuvering through high school and all that. With
Academics, I never had an issue.
people.
Our people, I was quiet in school, very quiet.
Uh-huh.
And see, I grew up on that. It's the quiet ones you gotta watch.
Oh, for
And
sure.
then, of course, my brother, with him being so old, I didn't have an older sibling in school with me, so I was the older sibling to my little sister. And then when she came to school, you better not touch her.
Cause you was like a senior when she was a freshman, probably, huh? Yeah. Oh, that's rough. That's rough. You plus you gotta watch over her and make sure she not doing like silly stuff. So
Look,
was you real protective
She's
with the
quiet
boys?
too.
Was you real protective over her with who was trying to date her and all that?
She was quiet. Quiet people are sneaky. So when she started liking boys, she didn't come tell me.
Yeah.
Because I probably was gonna beat him up too. So she never told me.
When did the fighting and all of that begin? Because you said I was the
Probably
one fighting,
like-
getting speeding tickets. I was the one.
Like my sophomore, junior year. Because I was feeling myself. I was a teenager and you couldn't tell me nothing. And I was that typical teenager with a smart mouth.
Mm-hmm. Why'd you feel like couldn't nobody tell you nothing?
Because I always felt like people was wrong.
Ooh,
I don't like
one of
know-it-all
those.
people. And then, like, if you come to me with facts, I'm going to go research for the facts.
Uh-huh.
And then when you say something to me, I'm be like, oh, no, you was completely wrong. And then we'll get into a little debate. I was in debate. My first degree is in criminal justice because I wanted to be a lawyer. I like to argue.
Yeah. You said because you said you don't like know-it-all people, but you go debating even if you wrong, right?
Sometimes.
A lot.
It depends. But I'm going to go do the research.
Huh?
I'm going to find the facts.
Or you gonna find the facts or find loop. I mean, even when you find the facts don't work in your favor, you gonna find a loophole because you know how to.
I know how to maneuver.
You know how to manipulate shit to work for you. Yeah, yeah.
But I know how to be accountable too if I'm wrong. I'll be like, all right, we had that debate.
Usually people who debate like that, it's hard to take accountability. And in those times when you a strong debater or strong, like always, it's hard to take accountability at that time. You may tell yourself, yeah, I was wrong, but telling somebody else?
Oh, no, I'll tell somebody I'm wrong.
Uh-huh.
I'll be like, you know what? I'm sorry. I apologize. I was wrong. But in the book it said...
You gonna always find a way. Hey, this is why this is that. Even in relationship, you like that.
Yeah.
Is that rough?
No.
The going back and forth is not rough. Until you...
I just walk away. I go find something else to do. Then I come back to the argument a little later.
What you would define is see if you was right.
Yeah.
Find something else to do.
Like a VCR pause. Then I come back.
So you going back to what you, because you're taking care of your grandmother and all of that. What are some of the tough parts of doing that at 18?
Not having that life at 18 when you want to go to the movies with your friends. And for me, I experienced it a little earlier. So it was just like, hey, mama, auntie, somebody, can you come sit for 4 hours? I need a break out the house. And everybody is too busy. Or they'll be like, oh, well, I'm at home and can't do this. Or the car is down. Well, get on the bus and come on over and do what you got to do. And sometimes I did feel alone in that sense, like nobody had my back. So with that, my brother was kind of in between here in St. Louis. So he was like, you know what? I'm going to just come on back. He moved back here. He was like, I'm just going to be the help you need. And when he moved back here, he got him a little apartment and he was like, okay, what you want to do? So me and him started setting a schedule. But then my grandmother seen what we was doing, so she stepped in. I'm like, listen, you're our only kid. This is your mama. You got to help us. So she's the only one that had the car at the time. So she's like, I'm going to go do the grocery shopping. So then that would be me and her going to do the grocery shopping. And I'm still having to work. But she was like, come on, just go to the grocery store with me. Of course, since I wasn't working a physical job, she was like, just get whatever you want, put it in the basket. So then she was like, oh, grocery shopping, we'll get you what you want. That's comfort. That'll shut you up. No, it won't. I need to get out this house. So we found out that my grandmother did qualify for like caregivers and home health care. So they would come in during the day and they would give us all a break. And we started just trying to figure it out on a need to know basis so it accommodates everybody in their life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, we got Miss Sarah here from 8 to 3. Please go do something. But of course, at 18, at 3 o'clock, 8 to 3, what you want to do? Besides lay in the bed
8 in
and
the
not be
morning.
bothered.
Oh, yeah, it ain't. At 18, I can't think of. Nah.
You want somebody to come in here and sit with grandma from 7 to 11.
Yeah.
So my brother took the night shift and he was like, okay, we'll rotate weekends. We started working out and, we just stayed with her till she left us.
Yeah. What did you find it doing from 8 to 3 though?
Sleep.
So that's all you did was. So you still didn't really get to be a kid for real. Not a kid, but a teenager.
No.
Teenager.
Mm-mm.
So do you've got a lot of resentment for certain people? But I don't think it's for your grandmother because you said you helping her.
My grandma was my partner in crime.
Yeah.
We stayed in trouble together.
What you mean?
When she wanted a beer, I snuck her beer out the refrigerator. Wasn't nobody at home but us.
Yeah. You were drinking beer with her?
I wasn't drinking beer with her because I cannot stand the taste or smell of it.
Uh-huh.
But if she wanted her a cold Miller, I knew where her stash was.
Yeah.
Was I supposed to be giving it to her? No. But she said, let me get a little taste. Okay. That's it.
Is your brother like a best friend to you too?
He all right.
He seemed like he look out for you.
Nah,
You
that's
know
my
what I'm
dog.
saying? Yeah.
That's my dog.
You got any kids?
Can't afford them.
But you got kids.
Yeah, I'm the favorite auntie.
Huh?
I'm the favorite auntie.
Your son got you talking about your younger sister or your brother?
Me and my brother don't have any children.
Yeah.
My sister made us
The
aunties
quiet
and
one.
uncles.
Yeah.
The quiet one. I didn't even know was pregnant.
How'd you find out?
Oh, I got in trouble.
With your tough ass.
I got in trouble.
What do you mean?
She brought the friend from church home and told her first.
Okay.
So she brought her home because, of course, you get those friends that mama think they can't do no wrong. And I'm like, why are we going into the bedroom having this conversation? So at 16, she came out and told us she was pregnant. And I didn't know. And I was like, well, wait a minute. She was like, what? And I got popped for it. And I was like, oh, why am I getting in trouble? Well, you knew too. I said, I wasn't there. I don't know what happened. So then she was like, well, I only told friend from church.
Uh-huh.
And everybody's just looking at me. I said, I didn't know. So she was like, well, you're supposed to protect her. I said I was. I didn't even know she liked boys.
Wow. How'd you handle the news when you found out though?
I cussed her out. It was like, I told you to graduate school. Don't worry about no boys. Why was you sneaking and kissing this little boy? I told you when you kiss, you make babies. And like, what happened? And she was like, well, and told me the little birds and the bees story. And I was like, okay, now we got to figure out what we're going to do with this baby. But at 16, she graduated high school a year early, and she ain't looked back since.
But you was helping out too with it because you said let's figure out what we.
I don't know. See, I helped her to a certain degree, but she didn't like me when she was pregnant. I don't like pregnant people, so and then the baby came out looking just like me. Nobody believed it was her baby, and it was a lot.
Wait, what?
Yeah, that's how bad she didn't like me. The baby looked just like me.
But don't y'all probably look alike, right? You and your sister?
Uh-huh.
Oh, so it's easy for the baby to look like you then.
It is, but
Yeah. Did you give the baby daddy a hard time? The child's father?
a little bit.
It's not his fault.
It's their fault.
He being
They was a unit.
we out here being with boys. We out here doing what boys is supposed to do.
They was a unit.
Yeah.
It was both of them.
So going back to the post though, there's a reason you put that post up as far as like nobody could tell my story like I tell. What triggered that?
Because, we live in that time where people always say, well, she does this, he does this, and think they know people's story. But you can't say that Keisha over here is sleeping with everybody if you ain't at Keisha's house 24/7. You can't say that John got 42 kids if John sit at home reading his Bible all the time. So,
Yeah.
like, you can't really say that. And I think it was something going on. Might have been having an issue with a family member. I'm not the favorite cousin. I'm the favorite auntie. But I think we might have had like a little family issue. And somebody was trying to say, well, she does this and say does it. Well, I don't have that relationship with you for you to say my life.
Yeah.
So when people get to calling me and want to be Channel 5 News and want to report what somebody is saying, I'm going to subliminal. It's going to be subliminal. I'm going to make the post because I'm going to let you know whoever you thought you could confide in then already came to me.
Yeah.
So one thing I tell people, you never know who is connected, for one, in this city.
Yeah.
For two, a listening ear is a talking mouth. So somebody's listening to you, but they're running back saying what you said. That's why I tell people all the time. If something ever gets back to me, I know who I said it to. I know what I said. And I know if it came back to me, I know you was the one that ran back and said something.
Yeah.
But I don't say nothing I can't repeat.
Yeah. That's how I feel too. Like, I'm telling you, hoping I can tell you and it'd be cool. But if you go back, when they come to me, I'm going to just say it to them. So I don't know what your mission was, but they ain't gonna do nothing but respect the person for saying it to their face most of the time.
Because, all it does, especially with social media, it takes that one person to share it. You see that y'all mutual. Then it's the one person that's mutually combined that shares the post. Oh, man, that was a shot.
Yeah. Show me you care. What is the origin story of that?
So, my mom was dating a guy. They were engaged, and he came with the son and some other kids. So we are family, of course.
Yeah.
Like us Black people say, we family. So I have technically 2 other older siblings that are not biological, but those are my brother and sisters. And then there's a baby of their bunch too. So he was the one that was in the house with us. So, of course, he's the annoying little brother that I never thought I would have. He was killed by his best friend back in 2019. And when Show Me You Care came about, it was actually 2 months after he was killed. So I have partnered with DeMario and a few other people of the community and hosted a turkey drive. Show Me You Care actually came from a hashtag. So we were like hashtag Show Me You Care KC as we were collecting turkeys and collecting non-perishables to feed the community. So, I always look out to see what is going on in the city before I do something. So if I see like you got Joey collecting turkeys for families, you got Salvation Army passing out harvest boxes or whatever the case is, you always want to do something that's going to make sense. So for me, collecting turkeys was not ideal, but collecting turkeys expanded from us having deep freezers from 18th Street to 175th and something. So we had turkeys at families' houses. We had people donating deep freezers that like we couldn't host no more turkeys. So eventually about 20 to 50 turkeys went to Joey. I'm like, well, we can't leave them and let them thaw out. So that's how that started. But then it triggered and I'm like, okay, wait, we got access to all these churches and buildings. So some people stepped in like, I got a smoker, I got a grill, I got this, I'll do some turkey. So then the community came in as a whole, cooked food for the community. And at that moment we had like the shelters with vans. They was bringing their people to the church to sit down, get hot meals, gloves, hats, XYZ. So, off this hashtag, then here comes Channel 4. Like, hey, we seen this. What are you guys doing? So I sent them a little message back, responded. At this point, camera crews are coming in. So I'm like, okay, now this is bigger than what I thought it would be. So therefore, from 2019 to now, we still feed the community hot meals because if we give them a frozen turkey, what if their gas is off? What if they don't have electricity? We're not thinking about the bigger picture. So we can give them a hot meal and we can give them food to take home and everybody's happy.
That's some real, And you said it started in 2019, and that's when he passed away too.
So he was killed in September. Our first community project was in November.
But the project was already planned before he passed away, or it was planned around him.
It was planned around him.
How was you able to suit up and get that done with like losing somebody so close? Because that's a brother.
Before he got killed, he was a giver. So even when he didn't have it, he'd be like, sister, guess what I just did? I just gave somebody $2. I said, well, how did that make you feel? Good, because guess what? I ain't got no more money. Can you send me $5? And I'm like, why would you? I never understood. He said, but did you hear that song from like back in the 70s, My Last $2? I said, yeah, what about it? He said, I was listening to it. I'm going to cover it. I said, okay. I said, of course, you think you Chris Brown. And me and him would go back and forth because he did music. And then he'll come in the house like pop locking or doing something. I'm like, oh, here we go again. You think you can dance. Has absolutely no rhythm. Rapping, yes. But he was like, but I'm broke though. Can I have $5?
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, you know what? And of course, the Bible says you have to be a cheerful giver.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, he's really excited about giving his last $2 away. So from there, like my mission was always to serve the underserved. So as far as me, like everything that I've been through from like childhood, not having mama there in your earlier years, that all creates a timeline of serving.
Yeah.
So my brother served me, my grandmother served me, my great grandmother, like just going back through the like historical timeline, my great grandmother was one of the first Black women to be a postal worker.
Yeah.
They didn't hire Black women. So like when we go back to, I'm like, okay, we come from a family full of serving. And then when that whole $2 barrage happened, I'm like, you know what? All right, we done collect all these turkeys. Families wearing the RIP t-shirts. Everybody's like, how are you doing this? I said, you know what? He's in the ground. We done had a service. That's all we can do. I said, but if he was here, he would be feeding these people. So everybody's like, well, how are you just so strong? And then, of course, you know, that's when the hate comes. Everybody's like, she just took this and spent it off because her brother died. I said, no, I didn't. I said, that's what's wrong with a lot of y'all. Y'all don't put personal feelings aside to show and care for somebody else. So, of course, you know, the hate came with the good. It's like, well, when y'all here doing good, they always gonna hate you. So even with that, I just continued my mission. And then from there, somebody called like, hey, you want to give some toys to kids? I'm like, well, we ain't even 30 days from Thanksgiving. We just did an event. So then toy drops started happening. And then I partnered with people that were just starting businesses, people that look like me, Black and brown of the community. Like, hey, let's get your name out here. Let's collect some toys. Then one of my friends, her grandfather had just passed. Her grandfather had a like massive toy museum in his basement. She came with a U-Haul full of toys, Hot Wheels and XYZ. And I'm like, what? This is all collector's items, like stuff she could have kept for herself, put on eBay and got like thousands of dollars for. Yeah. Everything just still in box, nicely packaged, just not even open. So then that created a toy drive. I'm like, you know what? Second time around, if he was here, he would be doing the same thing.
So you found your purpose in a place where you probably never really even thought about doing some stuff like that. And you found purpose.
Volunteering with other people, yes. Me doing it, no.
Yeah. What's one of like the dopest stories, like messages that like really touched your heart from what you're doing? Because I'm sure you didn't got them. It ain't all hate.
I love this story because for me, it was seeing the fellas and ladies from Chiefs or Die. So they was like, okay, y'all about to go feed the homeless and we about to do this? Yeah. So then Paul pulled up on his green party bus. And he was like, I got the bus. We didn't execute. We didn't plan none of this. It all just happened. So somebody brought like 20 boxes of Domino's pizza. So I'm like, so what are we supposed to do? Like pass out the slices of pizza? Mind you, there's no plan. Then people just started coming in like a funeral repast. We like, where is the chicken and green beans coming from? Mind you, there's still no plan. We got a bus out here. Somebody goes to Family Dollar and get us to-go containers. So we're at the parlor. We was just like, this is our staging location. Create our, we did drawstring backpacks. At the time, we had Bartle Hall as a warming center. So I'm like, okay, we ain't got no plan. Let's figure it out. So with the bus, we packed it up with food, hand warmers, XYZ, the coats, all of that. And we just got on the bus. We turned on the music. Of course, we had our fun while serving people. Yeah. One of the guys I connected with, that was one of the organizers from when the homeless people were sleeping on City Hall. He was smart. Didn't know if you camped out on a property for 30 days, you're technically a resident. So he knew to tell the other unhoused people to send their mail to City Hall. So I'm connecting with this man day after day, and I'm like, okay, well, what are we gonna do? At this time, when we load up this party bus, I said, wait, we got to go by City Hall. When we get off at City Hall, like the people, of course, they don't really deal with normal people because everybody tries to attack them. So when we started passing out food after the whole camp was served, he got on the bus and he was talking to the guys from Chief to Die. He said, I thank y'all for doing this. Y'all don't have to do it. I was shot 18 times. He said, I was left for dead in a homeless camp. He said, but I'm here looking at y'all and seeing y'all serve in something that I want to do. So at that moment, just him sharing his testimony, I got a bus full of grown men crying. And then they was like, oh, Shelle, like, we never do. This is what you really do. And like I tell people all the time, until y'all get out here with me, y'all don't know what boots on the ground really looks like.
Yeah.
And we had no tissue. So they was just like, just full faces, full of tears. And I said, this is like, I'm glad y'all got to talk to him because even in this, y'all don't know, like, y'all think y'all got it bad, but somebody's really worse off than you. Mm-hmm. And this man got bullets in his body and he's sleeping out here in negative 2-degree weather. So just imagine what he feels like. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. When you in your times of like, the noise is all drowned out, everything is going away, and you reflecting and thinking about, you really think about like all that you've done or whatever. What does that look like?
Sometimes I just think in 35 years, how did I accomplish so much? It's unrealistic.
Yeah.
But I just keep going.
And this was started but from your brother's death. You probably just thought it was going to be a few turkeys, you know what I'm saying?
Like a few turkeys, yeah?
Yeah.
Like 3.
Yeah. Now you're doing basketball tournaments and bringing some pretty notable people in town, or you got dealings. How did all of that start to happen?
People just seeing what I was doing. And like even with the people that I connect with locally, nationwide, whatever, they always say, what you got coming up? They reach out to me before I can even say, hey, this is what I want to do, or like before the plan. And, just to have people that travel all over the world, work for BET, Essence, or whatever, just reach out and say, hey, we want to align you with some people. So when you do the basketball game again, all you need to do is get flights or room and board, whatever. We got the rest. So, like, just off of those relationships is people out here that are in a broader horizon that see little old me in this city and, and just want to keep backing and supporting it.
Yeah, your biggest surprise, who was your biggest surprise? Because at this point, you probably not surprised no more. You probably don't get surprised, but like your first big reach out, what was that?
Actually, it was this year. It was a rep from N1 and Nike. So, they actually called, but they was like, oh, we probably too late. But they said, when you go forward for the next basketball game, we want to make sure that you don't have to worry about backpacks, any finances. We'll cut checks. We'll send you supplies, and like all is done. Like, don't worry about nothing else. So, being that they called like 4 days before the game, they couldn't get the backpacks that they wanted to send. But they said, hey, don't worry. Next year, we got you. So, and I know N1 from my time, but when I asked the kid from 2024, hey, you know about N1? They was like, no, what is that?
Yeah. I didn't even know they still existed. So through the documentary they had, I seen that. But I don't know, like, cause all this stuff that has happened, and you keep saying little old me. I want to know what that really means to you, though, like little old me, because a lot of people come on here and they tell their stories, and they or some people won't come and they say, I can't compare to that. That person that was on there, they just big or whatever. And I'll be like, bro, like, no, nothing about their status makes them bigger than you. So when people say stuff like, oh, my little story or my little, and you may just be saying it, but to me, it's just like, no, your story ain't little. Your person is not little, because what you're doing is bigger than the people we deem to be big out in the world, because they just look big on Instagram or YouTube or wherever they at. They really not, a lot of them really not doing the type of stuff you doing. I mean, we starting to see a lot of stuff crash down now. So
Nah, when I say little old me, I do say that jokingly, but I don't put myself bigger than nobody else. Titles, listen, that's my fight. Titles don't make us bigger than nobody because it
yeah,
can be here today, gone tomorrow.
yeah,
I tell people I'm your equal. I'm not your enemy. I'm not bigger than you. Hey, we all got the same. Your expiration date might not be mine, but we're all human. We
yeah.
all got a social security number. We all here for a purpose. If you don't know your purpose, I know my purpose. But, I'm going to just be little old me over here in this corner somewhere.
At least you ain't got to fight with that no more. Because a lot of us still fighting to find our purpose, you know? We trying to figure it out. Because I ask people that all the time, what you think your purpose is? Man, I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. But you seem to be confident in your purpose now.
A lot of people, they don't know. But they don't take the time to really figure out what their purpose is.
Yeah.
You could be a good advocate for adults. You could be a good advocate for teens. Like, everybody has a purpose, but you just got to figure it out. But you also have to be passionate in your purpose.
Yeah. Do you think it always just comes? It's always in your face though. Like yours kind of. It wasn't like directly in your face, but you kind of been doing it your whole life. When you go back to the basis of how you started. So do you think it's always in people's face like that?
No. And some people miss their assignment because they'll detour, they'll do this, they'll try to figure it out, they'll test the waters, they'll test batteries, they'll do what they got to do. But sometimes your purpose can be in your face. But for a lot of people, no, because he'll send you on a mission to really figure out if it's for you.
Yeah. Well, did you fight with him on anything? You never fought with him? Sure, I do it all the time. I ain't trying to do it. I do it all the time.
I'm gonna take that back because I'm fighting with a situation
Yeah.
now. So no, and see, it's a new situation. So
Yeah.
like right now, I'm like, with me taking in a kid who I just rescued, we don't know anything about each other. But for me to get documentation, like, oh, you're the legal guardian. What am I supposed to do with it? Because like I haven't raised no kids, but I will say that, yeah, I am fighting because, as a matter of fact, when I came, I was on a call. I'm trying to figure it out. And I'm like, if you was in this situation, what would you do? So, for the last 3 days, I'm like, God, listen, what you want me to do? Am I supposed to be this mentor? Am I supposed to save her? Like, am I supposed to return the sender?
Yeah.
Like, what? And then I think today I was really tested because, of course, with this new transition, I sent her back to school. Friday, I see parents like, it was hard for me to enroll to school. No, y'all lying. You're in the wrong district trying to send your kid somewhere else. It took me 15 minutes to enroll this baby back in school. And, of course, my test came from her being in school for 2 hours. Oh, my head hurting. I can't see. Now, for the last 4 days, you ain't said nothing about your head hurting. But I sent you back to school. Now you sick. So I was like, well, I'm going to do like my people told me. I see you when school get out.
Yeah.
Nurse said, do we have consent to treat? Yes. And I ain't coming to get her. So, yeah, that was a test.
How does that even work, though? Like, they just, like, here, you the legal guardian.
So, it was a traumatizing situation. I'm going to keep it confidential, but
Understood.
due to the situation, we have been failed by Jackson County a lot, especially with our Black and brown children. They get lost in the system. And not only just our Black and brown children, all kids have failed through Jackson County. Somehow or another, hotline calls disappear. Police reports are never seen. And just due to the situation, I wasn't going to let her be another statistic in Jackson County. And I'm like, if I can save you, I'm going to save you. But we got to figure this out together. So you listen to me, I help. Other than that, listen, baby girl, you a phone call away from going back.
You not gonna do it.
So probably not.
You not. you not. You gonna.
But she's very sweet, so it's just like, okay. That also helped me. Like, well, Shelle, you always outside 7 days a week, so guess what? You gotta sit down. You got a kid in your house. And just, it's been trying because I'll be ready. I'll be getting that itch like I'm about to go out. And then it's like, okay, well, guess what? I can't leave her alone.
Yeah. What do you think? How do you think this is going to grow you, or like some areas of yourself that you're going to have to give up in order for this to work? Have you thought about that?
Nah, I just don't know how parents do it.
Yeah. But you do see that it's gonna take some giving up some stuff, but
Yeah.
obviously you called to do it at this moment. Now it's just
16-year-olds in Walmart, don't recommend.
I don't recommend Walmart for anyone just because you think you go in there to get one thing and you end up spending. Yeah. So do you think y'all can you know what? I think the next time I talk, probably not the next time I talk to you, but eventually it's gonna be, oh, that's my best friend.
I can see it.
Yeah. Cause this gonna be the person that challenge you the most.
I'm getting that now.
Yeah. A way you ain't never been challenged before.
Yeah,
Yeah, this
it's
will be
gonna
your
be like the
biggest test.
mirror of me. Like, oh, okay, like, oh, you got a little kick.
Oh, that it's the mirror of you. That's
I think that's what it is.
that's been my toughest. Like when I sit across from me. Not, but for me, when I sit across from me now, it makes me grow because I'm like, that's how I am. This is what people be talking about. I don't want to be like that type deal. So it allowed me to see it and work on it. With you seem to be a little stubborn in that area. Don't want to give it up, but
Listen, I think that's where me and her is right now. Like, okay, she getting comfortable, but I think when she comfortable, like she about to, and I'm gonna have to be quicker.
yeah. And it's gonna be one of those things like when you know how you keep saying, she about to, I'm gonna ship her out. She probably gonna be like, you know what? No, because she probably really fuck with who you are and you fuck with who she is. But it's like we gotta relent some, you know what I'm saying, in order for us to grow. Mm-hmm. So I really can't wait to hear. Now I'm for real, like can't wait because a woman and a teenager just meeting, like, bro, I don't know you like that, like, you know what I'm saying. I don't know her situation, but. My parents don't even tell me to do this, so I've been getting away with this. So who are you? You know what I'm saying? Then you
I
like I'm
mentor
bringing
kids
you
all the time, but see, we get along because they can go back home.
You said say that again.
I mentor kids all the time. I'm in and out of the schools. Like I allot some of my PTO to go back in and mentor kids. So even with that, I'm like, and I said this to my brother this morning. I said, it's all fun when you can take them home.
Yeah.
I said, but this one got to come home with me. He was like, well, you signed up for it.
Yeah.
I was like, I guess I did.
That's funny because that's the same thing I be saying about relationships, though. Like the people that like say I'm messing with a bunch of random chicks, I ain't got no obligation to them. I can just, boom. It's the one at home you got to like, you got to focus on, is going to grow you if you want that to work out and make it better. In closing, though, can you leave us with some words marked out?
If you have a passion, just keep doing it. If you set your heart to something, just go forward with it.
The goal is to leave a lasting imprint on their minds and their hearts. We pray you've been indelibly marked. Appreciate you.
Are we still recording? Yeah.
All right, I don't know about you. Thank you.
I ain't gonna punch you.